Hey Splinterlands players, it's time for the Share Your Battle Challenge. This is one of the funnest things to do if you're a Splinterlands player because you get to make a video or a post or that just shows that you use the card in battles and talk a little bit about the card, and we get a reward from that from the team, which helps us all either make a little money, buy more cards hopefully every once in a while with your rewards, and other things. So this week they went with an old school card. He came out in alpha. He was a part of a pretty strong life team, and that's the Silvershield Warrior. He's a pretty simple common card, and he's kind of been replaced, so we're going to talk about that a little bit, and then we're going to see him used in battle. I have to say, this isn't one of my favorite cards, but it's still nice every once in a while to just show that even a card that you don't like that much can help you win a fight. So, let's go take a look at the card. I have an alpha version of him only at level 6. It's the highest level one I have. I didn't like the card enough to go ahead and purchase a higher level one in beta, because I just didn't think that. See, from 6 he gets the 5 life, the 3 armor, the 2 attack. He doesn't get much of a boost here. He gets a good boost here, so you'd have to take him all the way to level 8 to make him better, and I just haven't really invested the money. And the real reason why I haven't done that, I'm going to go back to the cards and take a look at the life team, is because before I got around to it, life was one of my lower level teams, and before I got around to it, we had somebody come out who's just eclipsed him. So here, I'm only at level 4, and this is a rare card, so it's going to take less to level up, and they're selling so insanely cheap that while the eagle costs 2 more mana, if you're going to use a reach secondary tank, he's going to, if I do the investment, have way more abilities, do more damage, have close to the same life, and only real drawback is the armor. But the life team has other ways to give him armor. You can use the older summoner, which I have maxed out, and he'll have 2 armor. You can use either one of the 2 or 3 cards that give everyone an additional 2 armor in the set. So I'm just not that worried about the fact that he's not as armored up. But let's go ahead and go back to the original card here. Sorry, it went into Untamed only. It seems to do that sometimes. Oh, it's because I accidentally went to the market. That's okay. So, looking at this card, if you were to play him at max level, he does become a good economical card for lower end mana matches. Because right here at max level, he's doing 3 damage for 4 mana and having a total life of 10 in any kind of format where they have to go through his armor, like magic, like the magic armor games. So in that format, he's pretty usable because then that extra armor does make the extra 3 as opposed to the 1 of the bird comes in more handy. He doesn't work as well if you run into magic monsters, especially the magic splash monsters, because he can get killed pretty quickly from the magic attacks. And he's slow, which can be a disappointment because he'll miss sometimes. So that's one of the reasons why he's not one of my favorite cards. The reasons why he is good, as I mentioned, 4 for 3 is pretty solid as far as attack to mana cost. 10 total possible life at only 4 cost is pretty cool. He has reach, so you can do the double tanks with things like the Silvershield Paladin, or he could be behind the unicorn, and maybe a higher where you want to spend a little more on the unicorn, and then you can still get this guy onto the board. So he's a usable card in this set. He's just never probably going to be the star of the battle. Very few reach monsters are ever the star of the battle. There's a couple out there. The death team has the corrupted Pegasus. He's pretty strong at reached, and the fire team has the new big cost reach monster. So we'll have to see if that changes anything. This is the original set though, so this is what he came out to play with. If you look at him, he does combo okay here, but this is such an easy magic kill your people if you go this combo. Behind the Paladin, he works okay, and behind the Golem, he would work kind of okay. Really though, the main point of him is to be a secondary tank to keep something that the life team does pretty well, and that's range damage creatures, which is kind of interesting that people maybe overlook how good Peacebringer is and how good Air Elemental are. that these guys can keep on attacking while those high armor, relatively high life guys are taking hits for them. So I did have another battle to show you guys, but I accidentally went and played in a tournament and I pushed it off my screen and I didn't have a way to find it anymore. I am somebody who does use a bot to play when I'm not playing. The bot messed up, so my rating's all super low right now, which is kind of funny. Just a little thing. But I did finally get a battle that I thought was pretty good. I was using him sometimes and winning, but it was silly. I was running against players that were all level 1 monsters. I wasn't going to show you that. So I'm going to show you what ended up being a pretty good fight. Everybody was equal leveled, and I thought that it was a format where you'd actually use him, and I did use him in a low mana match. So let's go ahead and bring it up. That way I can go ahead and kind of show you the rules and set this up properly. Sorry, I'm rambling a little bit today. So let's bring this up. Then we'll do a quick pause. The armor cast went on, but you can kind of get a look at this. So this was an equalizer fight, but as you can, and I took a chance here, because normally you're going to use fire, right? And you're going to use the exploding dwarf. He's like the star of equalizer. But it was only 14 mana, and I had an idea for possibly dealing with the dwarf in this fight by putting the Thorns monster in the front row, putting him in the back row, knowing that we would have a decent amount of life. We'd have that little bit of an armor, and even though the exploding dwarf got piercing, that maybe with the speed up and the slowdown in only 14 mana, I'll get lucky and I'll be able to beat the dwarf. But instead, I went against a different theory of low mana where somebody uses the serpent, and the serpent is very strong in low mana. That 5 life with the self heal, 5 attack, 9 life, self heal, and thorns is a strong combo. And then he went also with the chicken in second place to hopefully let his archer sit back there and plink away at us. And he did go with a slow to counter my slow. But I do get a speed advantage because I'm already faster than his monsters in the front row. And I do have the speed boost and the cleanse, so my tank is going to get even faster. And you're going to see how that ends up playing in. I'm going to start this out because this is actually a pretty long fight. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. So you're going to see here my silence didn't do anything. I did slow him down to 1 speed, which I think makes a lot of sense, and then I was able to get myself back up to 5. So now I got a miss there, and a miss there. So I got 2 misses. That was very important on the speed differential I went in the background. Also, I played that speed differential to prevent my Silvershield from missing with his 2 speed. I knew that he would have a chance to do it. So here, even though I do lose my front end tank, I get that second attack there and then get healed, and I'm in a good position. So now he's doing actually exactly what you want, and he's being that second tank that just dominates the game and becomes pretty much unkillable when the other person's main tank is off the board. So the first 2 tanks killed each other, and then I actually played a secondary tank with reach that I was able to play within the mana cost of the rule, and now he's just going to sit up there in the front and he's going to dominate these guys. It takes a little while because I'm not dealing very much damage, and I did get a little lucky that he decided to go without a healer. Otherwise I might have gotten to a place here where we just kind of sat in a place while his archer plinked away the people in the back row, which would have eventually beat me in a much longer fight than this. It would have been kind of funny to watch. I might have shared it anyways, even if I had lost that fight. But in the end, he did exactly what you would like him to do. He was a secondary tank, moved into that tank position, had the healer behind him, and was still able to win the fight. So that was my battle I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching it and understand my breakdown of the card. I think it's kind of funny when they bring up one of these older common cards. I never did level him in beta. I got a couple, but I never leveled him up. It's kind of funny. I actually traded a little story of why my life cards are a little lower level, as you might have seen. It's because I traded, when I first got into the game, all my alpha cards. I traded almost my entire life team for death cards. So my death team on Alpha is actually one of my higher leveled teams. I have a max summoner, I have some maxed epics, I have level 7 rares, some level 8 commons, at least the more playable commons. I never did level this guy. I probably will. I got one extra here. I'm gonna pay the money soon to max him out in Alpha, I think. It's just pretty steep nowadays. But I traded for all the death team, and I don't know if that was the right move because life might have been better, but I just was a fan of Zentar. I was a big fan of the Haunted Spirit comboing with the Undead Priest and the Dark Enchantress. I thought this card was really cool, even though it ended up killing itself a lot of times, only having 3 life. It's way more usable now with Mimosa. It's kind of interesting because you can play Mimosa and give the Banshee Void, and you're really good. Oh, I have a cough, don't have COVID. I would apologize, but I don't know how many people will listen to that far into the video. We'll see if anyone brings up that I coughed in the comments. I will let you guys go now. We're a little bit further than I like to go. Have a good day. Bye.